What's up guys, Cass here from GiveWave Studios, and on this one I'm going to show you how to turn these foam pieces right here onto the chest plate armor for Killmonger, as well as the shoulder pieces. I'll also go over how I did my strapping once everything is done, so that you can recreate the same look for yourself. Alright, let's get it. Alright, so we're going to start with these set of pieces. You should have 4 of these, so 8 in total, and 2 of these. Now you'll notice this is for the shoulder pad. So in the shoulder pad here, there's a little rounded corner, but on the other side it's not as rounded, or probably not even rounded at all. So this is basically the front of your shoulders, right? So if I'm laying down on the table, these are facing me. This is the front of my shoulders. And then these we're just going to glue on top here by following the lines that are already outlined here for you guys. More likely the longer one is on the outside and the shorter one will be on the inside. So compare lengths, see which one is which, organize them, and once you've figured it out, you should have something like this. See how the shapes just kind of go gradually? So it's just a matter of putting the shapes next to each other, seeing which one is longest, medium, shortest, and then organizing them on the shoulder pads. So before we go ahead and glue these, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as an example. You're going to grab an X-Acto blade, a nice sharp one, or if you have a machine like a bandsaw or something like that, you can cut these at an angle. So you're going to cut this at an angle, and it's going to look like that. See that little angled edge that we have there? You're going to do that on both ends of these, right? It's also a good idea to number your pieces once you finally organize them. So I'm going to start from right to left. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's say that this is my right shoulder. So I'm going to go right, 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 right. I'm also going to mark this base right. So now I know my 1, 2, 3, 4. That way, as I'm cutting these, if they get mixed up or anything like that, I know exactly where I am and where they go. Alright, so I got my parts all cut out, my left and my right. I also did a slight bevel on the front of the shoulder piece. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. It's just an extra detail that I wanted to add. And then now I'm just going to match my things up. And now we're just going to glue everything onto the pad, and I'll pause at some point to show you guys how to do this piece. Alright, so that's basically the first one right here. And then now what we're going to do is on numbers 2 and 3, we're going to put this little fork looking thing in the middle. Alright, glue that down, wrap it around. Once we've wrapped it around, we're going to place this piece and glue it on top of that. So I'm going to fast forward through that process and catch you guys at the next step. Alright, that's pretty much it for this piece. Now we're going to heat this up with a heat gun, and then we're going to heat form it a little bit, shape it around a round object. I have a little anvil that I work off of, but you can do this like off of your elbow or your knee or any like curved surface like the back of a soda bottle or something like that. So I'm gonna fast forward through that process and catch you guys at the next step. Alright, so as you guys can see, we went from this pretty flat piece to this more curved and dimensional piece. So basically repeat the step for the left one, and we're gonna move on to the next part. Alright guys, so next step is grab basically the rest of the pieces for the chest. And this is the left chest, right chest, left chest, and these are this way. So this little indent here is the middle piece where the his chest plates connect, and then these pieces just kind of like follow your guidelines here. Put that down here. That's gonna get glued here, and then this piece, or these two pieces, one goes here on top of this one. So glue those two first, and then one goes here on top of that one, and then you'll have your lefts and right. So what that's gonna end up doing is showing you where this attaches right there. See how the angles just slid into each other? So that's what those guidelines are there for. You can definitely bevel the edges of this with a Dremel, cut it at an angle with your blade, however you choose to give it a little bit of dimensionality. I'm going to do that, so I'll fast forward through the process of assembling these real quick, and then I'll catch you guys at the next step. So another thing that I did while I was putting these together is I actually separated these two pieces, if you can tell right there. I ended up cutting it out because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to offset it a little bit. So I'm going to glue it back exactly into place, just a couple of millimeters lower, which is going to give the chest plates like a little bit more dimension. Extra step that you don't have to necessarily do if you don't want to, but just thought I'd mention it. Alright, so at this point we have this chest plate put. You can see that I sunk this in a little bit, right, to give it a little bit of a bevel there, and I also sanded the edge here to just kind of smooth it out a little bit. Again, all extra details if you feel like going through it. And this piece goes here like that. And then after that, we're going to heat this up and start forming it so it could look more like a breastplate. Let's fast forward through that process and catch you guys at the next step. Alright, so we're done with our chest pieces and we're done with our shoulder pieces. You can kind of see it start to take shape. There are also these little bits right here that match up with this section right here. You can glue these now at this point, or you can glue them later depending on if you want to do something different to them. So for me, for example, I'm going to add this reflective piece on top of it. So I'll glue it after I've done all of the painting so that I don't have to worry about masking just this little bit. Alright, so let's move on to the next step, which is going to be painting and weathering, and then I can show you guys how I do the straps for everything. So just using some Plasti Dip on the pieces. Spraying from about an arm's length away and just coating everything. I'm gonna do this coat 2 times, probably, maybe 3, depending on how well they take, and then just kind of recoat every 15 to 20 minutes. Alright, so now I did a coat of flat soft iron from Rust-Oleum. I don't know if you guys can tell the difference. You can see here the Plasti Dip version, and underneath the soft flat iron kind of gives it like this gunmetal look. So that's basically it for this step. Alright guys, and that concludes this tutorial. I'm ending it a bit abruptly because I lost some of the footage, but I pick up where I leave off in part 2, which is going to be for the backplate for the Killmonger build. So I don't know if you caught it at the end there, but I was painting the shoulder pieces gold. That's because I was doing those pieces in particular for a new cosplay, which was a mashup of Soldier 76 and Killmonger, calling it Killmonger 76 or Monger 76. Not really sure on what the hashtag is going to be yet, but so not to worry. Paint it the silver that you were going to paint it, and again, I'm going to cover a lot of this stuff in part 2, so I'll see you guys on that one. Cheers.